Have you encountered such workplace discrimination? The entire office building is a toilet for white people. The woman can only run a few kilometers to the colored toilets in the West End. To solve personal problems. To save time. Katherine desperately counted on the toilet, even if it's racing against time. The round trip still takes more than 40 minutes. She was a little thirsty. After returning to the office, she took a cup of coffee for herself. She turned around but found the eyes of the colleagues were full of disgust. There was another coffee pot on the table the next day. It is written for colored people. In the era when computers were not universal, NASA's aviation numbers are mainly based on human calculations. Katherine's job is to check it. This day, her colleague threw a thick stack of documents to her. Katherine opened it but found it's covered with black marks. What should she do if she couldn't see the content? The colleague said these were confidential, and the data has been used by 2 engineers. Confirmed with himself too. It's just a process to show her. Katherine was so strong and unwilling to give up. She put the file under the light to see the data and wrote down her calculation process on the blackboard. In an environment full of prejudice, talent may be a powerful counterattack. Katherine not only calculated the exact number, she also deduced the reason why the rocket could not withstand the flight. This was a problem that kept the boss a headache. He recognized Katherine's ability, approved her to participate in more important work. He also warned the colleague not to give Katherine any more data that had been blocked. It didn't take long for Russia's Voyagers to enter space first. This put more pressure on NASA. The whole group started working overtime day and night. The boss found that Katherine was always not at the desk. He finally got angry every day. This woman went to the toilet. She had to run for several kilometers in heavy rain. After returning to the office, she still was yelled at by her boss. All her anger and grievance poured out in an instant. There was no toilet in this building for her to use. Because she can't ride a bicycle, she can only walk. Her skirt can't be over the knee and shoes are also made. My skirt can't go over the knee. It's required to wear a pearl necklace only, but she didn't have it. How can she afford it with the salary she was paid as a black people? She worked day and night like a dog. She was not allowed to touch the coffee pot in this office. Katherine felt relieved after saying all this. She knew she was going to be fired, so she packed her things and left. The boss's behavior exceeded everyone's expectations. He first tore off the label on the coffee pot, then lifted the iron rod again and again, smashed a sign that said only people of color. From now on there would be no such toilets. Nothing for only white people. Go wherever she wants. Their urine is the same color. Katherine's work was getting better and better when she gave her name to the report, but it was returned by her colleague. Although the data was all calculated by her, but the calculator was not qualified to sign, and because she can't participate in the high-level meeting. According data changed too quickly, Katherine did a lot of useless work. She applied to join the meeting with her boss, although there had never been a president, but she was still approved. At the meeting, officials questioned the Aviation Bureau. Why can't they figure it out? The boss was embarrassed. He can only pass the chalk to Katherine. He hopes she can help himself out. Katherine calmly calculated on a blackboard. After a few minutes, she will confirm the coordinates, pointed it out on the map. Her ability also won the trust of astronauts. It's a pity the good times didn't last long. The computer appeared with the super ability and calculated a lot of data. This means that Katherine's job will be replaced by machines. On the day of the rocket launch, something happened. Rocket is ready to launch. Everyone is witnessing this historical moment. The computer calculated completely different data. Engineers panic. No one can be sure which data is right. The Aviation Bureau had to report the situation truthfully. Astronaut proposed on the phone that let Katherine check the data. They also said that only she nodded to confirm. They will be launched by themselves. The assistant immediately sent the information to the Office of Colored People. Katherine started to check coordinates without saying a word, waiting anxiously. The result was finally calculated. It's even better than a computer. She trots all the way to send the information to the team, but after the other party accepted the file, they closed the door. Although this is not the first times that she was left out, Katherine was still exceptionally lost. Just when she was about to leave, the boss opened the door and handed out the work permit. Invite her in to witness this historic moment together. The space capsule returned smoothly after 3 rounds. The landing point was no different from Katherine's calculated score. She was invited to continue to participate in the moon landing program. This movie is based on a true story. Tells about women who have made outstanding contributions to the American aviation industry. Those women have always been the hidden characters behind. Until Katherine was 97 years old. She is awarded the High Medal of Honor by the President. This legendary story gradually became known to the public.